Ever since I started making videos 5 years ago, there's one dream project that I've always wanted to do, and that was to build a smart home from scratch. Take you through the planning, construction, picking devices, installation, automation, and so much more. However, house prices in the UK, or materials in the UK, have got so wildly ridiculous in the last few years that it's just unattainable for most normal people. But recently I had an opportunity to pick up a one-of-a-kind project, and so we bought the next best thing. This is a 200-year-old Georgian villa. Once built as a townhouse for a guy called Sir Archibald Dunbar, a convener, provost and baronet, this stunning building has seen many different uses over the years. First as a family home, and then from the mid to late 1900s, it became local council offices, a registry office, and most recently, a medical practice. It's safe to say that this has always been a place centered around people and the biggest moments in their lives. For the last 5 years, however, it's been completely empty though, until now. Earlier this year it came up for sale, and somehow I ended up with a successful bid. This is literally a childhood dream for me, a building I used to walk past every day and gaze up at, but never imagined I would own. And that's all down to you. Now I want to take you on the journey as we preserve its important history while taking it into a modern, smart era. This is Highfield House. These stone pillars are my absolute favourite feature. I never thought I would have a building with big stone pillars on them. Come in, out the wind. And the first thing I would like to direct your attention to is these lovely walls which feature like a carpet. Like, I've never seen carpet on the wall before. Come into the main hallway, foyer, and we have these 4 kind of doorways on each side. So we'll come into this one, practice manager's room. Came with this free sign. So this building was used as a like doctor's surgery or an NHS building way back in the day. And as you can see, there is about 1 million keys that came with the building. There's more over here as well. We're still working our way through all the keys. There's like, yeah, look, keys, more keys here, look, hundreds of them. You notice all of the rooms have got these PIRs on them as well, which is definitely going to come in handy for our smart lighting setup. Also, notice this lovely brick that's all around this central hallway, which I just love. We have another similar room over here, except this one also has air conditioning. I've never owned a building with air conditioning before, so stoked about that. And then we come over into this other room. A couple of toilets in here. Lovely. Oh, I didn't know there was a shower here. Did you? Oh. So that's the facilities. And then in here we have a fairly decent sized room actually. This is quite a big room. Lots of light. I love the tall windows, and then we have this like small, they must have used it as like a small kitchen type area. All of the rooms have got these like vent fans on. I think it's for like, there's like a extraction fan in every room that you can like vent. I've never kind of seen that before. It doesn't work, or I can't get it to work yet. And then the last sort of room on this side is lights. We have quite a big storage cupboard. Plenty of room for activities. Another huge storage cupboard for some reason. And then the last room we have is the library. This is the library, so yeah, they're basically just mirror rooms of each other. But yeah, lots of room, quite big rooms actually, considering. Now let's go up a floor and we'll take a look at the first floor. This building has kind of a weird floor arrangement, which I'll show you. There's so much brick here, I don't know how we're gonna fix this. So we're gonna go up onto the first floor now. So this building was built in 1822 and was obviously originally a house, and then since then it's went through a lot of different changes and uses. And most recently it was a doctor's surgery as well as like an NHS building. So that's why a lot of the like fixtures and fittings are related to NHS and medical sort of stuff. So we come in here onto the first floor. Just like the upper ground floor, the first floor is 160 square meters, but as you can see, the layout is quite a bit different to the downstairs. So this is a completely open plan area, whereas all the rooms downstairs are kind of divided into individual offices. The only bit that's kind of like shut off is this sort of smaller, I guess this would have been like storage cupboard kind of thing as well. As you can see, we've got loads of power and Ethernet cables, which is very handy. It saves me having to run them. So we've got some data and network points kind of all over, which is really good. Also comes with this lovely sink, as you can see, very nice. And let me show you the best feature of all that this property actually came with. I don't know where else in the UK you could actually get this on a property, so it's very unique. And it is this fly graveyard. Yeah, it's just basically a big open one. Oh, free calculator. Still works.
Go do a cartwheel.
No, break my fucking neck. The last tenant was in about 5 years ago. That was when they actually sold it, and so it's kind of been left abandoned since then, which you'll see has not been favourable in some parts of the building. Another set of toilets, so there's like toilets per floor, which is actually really good, and I'll show you why later. This is, that is a bad smell. Another toilet, so this is the women's toilet. No wonder it smelled so bad in comparison to, this one actually smells a lot cleaner. Okay, get out. One other thing I wanted to show you before we go out, it's actually easiest to see on this floor. A lot of these old buildings, as you will know, will have structural or roof problems where like, all the floors will sag and just get all rotten. And then the roof again will fall in and it needs replaced, and that's hugely expensive. But one of the big reasons that we bought this building was, if you look up here, the entire floor was replaced and is a complete concrete floor. So every floor in this building has been replaced with a giant concrete floor. You may notice that the height of the windows is quite high off of the floor, and if you look up, that the windows extend past the ceiling line, which I don't think would be original. I wasn't able to find any public record of this, but the theory that I have is that when the floors were replaced with concrete, I think they shifted them all down a little bit from the original height in order to provide more usable space on the top floor. But this is just an amateur's guess. If you happen to know this building, and if that's true or not, I would really love to hear from you. Someone's actually spent huge amounts of money on this building. It was actually the council years ago before they then sold it. So all of the floors are insanely good. They feel so solid. There's no noise comes up between them, and most importantly, they're all completely structural sound, which is a big boost. And it's actually a big reason that we bought this building, was because we knew the structure in this part was actually so good. Okay, up onto the top floor, second floor, third floor, who knows? And it's kind of like the attic room, but as you will see, it's kind of not really an attic. They're just basically full floors, lights. They're basically just full height floors, which is really useful because you're not like limited by headspace and stuff. So this was the conference room, and as you can see, it's actually quite a decent size as well. It's not a small room by any means. And yeah, because the floors were kind of dropped when they replaced them with the concrete, it means that you can get kind of pretty much full head height in these ones. Another smaller kind of office in here, but still an okay size, not too bad. And in here, we actually have a really weird feature, and I think it's because it was an NHS or a medical building. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's actually just like a giant water tank. So it just like holds thousands of liters of water, and I think they just had to have a certain amount of water on site in case, you know, water ever went out, so that you could still attend to patients and things like that. And finally, across the other side of the corridor, we have a very similar room once again. This one's a little bit bigger just because it doesn't have the water tank in it. One actual really cool feature I want to show you is in this little cupboard here. And it is, you know, I was saying earlier that they've replaced all the floors with a concrete floor, so every floor is concrete. What they also did is they took the roof completely off this building and they replaced it with a steel construction all around. So it's got steel beams that go all the way down, as well as the roof being steel as well. And if you look into this cupboard, you can actually see the steel beam right there. The roof is actually in very good condition. It's very much been rebuilt to a pretty high standard.
You nudge me again like that, confident.
You know how you see those movies like in America where people have been like living in somebody else's house, like in the ceiling and stuff, and they don't even realize it? That's exactly what could be happening in here. So that's why I like to keep the cupboard locked, just so they can't get out. Okay, we've got another floor to go yet, as well as some other buildings. Let's go all the way down to the bottom. Okay, now we come, this is the ground floor or the bottom floor. The light switches in this place are so weird. So this is still in the old part of the building. Again, we have the nice, lovely brick, some more toilets. And then we have one of the consulting rooms over here. So this would have been like where doctors would have taken patients to do checkups and that kind of thing. So another pretty big size room. Very similar to the one on the floor above. And then over on this side of the building, we actually have one of my favorite rooms, which is, of course, the server room. The light doesn't seem to work in here very well at the moment. This is the electrical and the server room. As you can see, the electrical setup in here is no joke. There's a heavy amount of electrical stuff, and there's like so many breakers, so many different distribution boards. And then we have the server room or the patch panels over in the rack there. And luckily they are all labeled, so I'm hopeful that they're going to be in not too bad a condition. And we can actually make use of all the Ethernet instead of having to run it again, because I do not want to do that. In here is another just consulting room. Same, this one also has AC, which is nice. And then little disabled toilet, although it's actually a pretty big disabled toilet. Lots of space. Another consulting room. This one's a bit of a weird shape, which I'll show you why in just a second. So another decent sized room. They've all got like sinks and they've all got plumbing and water and everything run into them, which is pretty handy because we can decide what we want to do with them. This has got a weird kind of diagonal wall, I guess you could call it. And that's because through here, back into the hallway is like this fire escape, which kind of leads to the outside there, which we'll show you in just a second. Oh, we almost forgot a room. Through here is this would have been like the waiting room. Patients would have came in here until they got kind of called through to the consulting room. How do you turn this on again? Like one of those things from like the 90s. 2000s. So I can't wait to automate that, put some smart messages on it, telling Sarah when to make me a cup of coffee. That'll be great. This would have been like this was like the touch screen kind of login check-in system from way back in the day. Oh my god, that's loud. IBM, what about that? I wonder if this thing will even start up. There could be a serious GDPR breach if this thing actually boots up. 250 gig hard drive. Oh wow, look, it's actually Windows 7, I think that is. Yeah, Windows 7. It's been a long time since I've seen one of these. So this would have been like touchscreen to log in. This is where the old building ends, and then everything beyond here is like the extension that was built in kind of 99, 2000 sort of era. So this would have been where the patients would have came in from the front door. So we actually have a sliding door just here, which I've kind of yet to figure out. It kind of like gets operated by this key, and then we have our own very own sliding door. If you come through here, there's actually another one. So this would have been like where the front entrance to the building was. So people come in here, and then there's like this intercom system, which people could, so the receptionist could then let them in here, buzz them in through the intercom, and then get through this door, which I think we might now be stuck through. Ah, okay. I thought we were actually stuck there. Come through before it closes. Not really sure how that works, but.
Let me in, for I'm a bogus gas man with fake ID. Thanks.
I'm here to check your meter. And then through here is where like the whole new medical bit sort of starts. So this is like all extension through here. Oh, actually one last thing. So back, I know it's confusing the layout, but back through here is back into the old part of the building. This is where we were, like through in the stairway. But I did want to show you this, which is like this weird electrical panel, has a lot of buzzing coming from it. In here is like giant like batteries, which like store power for all of the emergency lighting if that were to ever go out. And yeah, I'll show you in there one day. It's like giant batteries just used for the emergency power. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do a full tour in this section of the building before work started, but I did get my dad to take a video before he touched anything. Sorry it's vertical, but that's dad's for you. This room here is the receptionist area behind this perspex, where they have the intercom controls for the sliding door that we were just in. You will see a lot of the roof tiles have started falling into the rooms, and basically what's happened is that at some point we think the water was left on over the winter when it was abandoned and caused a lot of the pipes to rupture and caused a lot of flooding. Luckily, I think it was caught fairly quickly as the damage is quite minimal, but we find tons and tons of pipes with big gashes and splits in them. This part of the building by itself is about 200 meters squared, which when combined with the original part of the building makes this entire floor about 350 square meters alone. These rooms were similar to the other part and were split up into individual consultation rooms for patients, and they all have sinks with water and drainage, which is great as it gives us flexibility on what we need to do for the future. This part of the building was built in 1999, so fairly recent in comparison to the old part, and was a concrete block construction with a timber frame on the inside. You will see that as we start coming into these rooms that there is a lot of mould on the walls because of the water damage, and means that we will need to take off all of the external plasterboard to inspect behind and make sure there is no rot in the wood. I did get this free doctor's inspection lamp, which I'm not really sure what to do with, and it weighs an absolute ton, but it's a pretty cool memento. That's actually the worst bit about this building, is having to go around and turn off all the lights. Heading outside to the grounds, it sits on just under an acre in total. And I would have loved to have seen how the grounds looked way back in the day when it was a house, as I bet they were amazing. Not so much now, unfortunately. Firstly, because the majority of it has been turned into car parking and tarmac. But secondly, as you can see, nature has definitely started to have its way with it. But given the size, I do think that it has potential to be really nice again. I love just the overall presence that it has set back from the road like that. The tarmac at the front here is actually pretty badly damaged. A lot of weeds growing up and it's all crumbling away. I would love to fix this, but I'm too scared to find out how much that's going to cost right now. So I think it might have to be a problem for future me. If you have suggestions, then please let me know. There is a lot of huge bushes growing up the side of the house, and particularly around the stairs area is pretty bad. We've seen on the plans that there should be a doorway under the stairs somewhere, but we can't really get in there right now until it's cleared. We actually have a great local company starting tomorrow to come in and completely clean the grounds up, which I'm really excited about, getting it all stripped back so we can see what we are working with. Coming down the side of the building, this would have originally been a nice flower or a shrub bed, but it's just gotten totally out of control in the last 5 years. This is also where you can see the sliding door for the entrance on the lower ground floor, and so that's why you have an upper ground and a lower ground floor. Coming round to the back, we have another car park area, and this building is the coach house, originally used for storing horse carriages. And I've actually not seen inside of this building yet, so I'm hoping we're going to find a barn find Rolls Royce or a Ferrari or something, but this is a lovely little building. This lets us finally see the old and the new part of the building together so you can understand the layout. And it also shows the true height of the main building, which is a little more hidden when looked at from the front. Unfortunately, we then come to this absolute eyesore of a building, the Annex. This was a building put up sometime in the 80s, I believe, and I think was used as a children's charity. It's pretty much all wooden construction, and it's definitely seen better days. Luckily for us, it's not physically joined to the main building in any way, and so that makes deleting this building much easier.
Oh, it stinks.
This is the Annex building, which is like this weird outbuilding that's in the grounds here. As you can see, as we walk through, it is in pretty bad condition, and there's kind of a good reason for that. So there was all these kind of like weird, really narrow rooms. It's like quite narrow corridors and everything. Through here was just like, I don't know, I guess somebody had just started laying new floor for some reason, and then I don't know what happened. It kind of just has the feel of like a garden shed kind of about it, and it kind of smells all musty and everything. Not actually entirely sure what they use this for, but oh, look at that. That's like full of water. That's a good sign. It's always a good sign to have water in your electrics, isn't it? And generally in bits. This was like a conference kind of room. There's like genuine like wind like rushing through the loft hatch there. It's actually quite a breeze. Through down here is like quite a narrow corridor, and there's like all these just kind of tiny little rooms everywhere. Kind of handy. Another tiny room, and then just some more kind of like storage and rooms. This is kind of like the nicest one, I guess, if you could say that. Oh, this looks like a portal to another dimension or something like that. It looks like a portal where the girl from The Ring or The Grudge or something is going to come out of. So that's basically this building. As you can see, very bad condition, but one of the reasons that it is going to actually be knocked down and is pretty much unusable at this point, it's not worth repairing, is because if you look up into this hatch, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but they are actually all made out of asbestos, so that kind of has to come down, and it's not really worth taking those off to put on a new roof. You know, the amount you would spend on that is just not really worth it. The other issue with this building is through here in this disabled toilet, where if you come through, you will see that the roof is actually pretty much all caved in, and there's just kind of a big open hole there. Do you want to use the toilet? That's pretty much the reason this building is getting completely flattened, which I'm actually really happy about because it is such an ugly building and I can't wait for it to be gone. Decided to come back home because it is getting so cold down there just now. Finally, I want to talk about some of the plans moving forward and what we're going to be doing with Highfield House. Now, you are probably wondering, why on earth did you buy this and what on earth does this have to do with smart home? Well, one huge reason that we bought it is content. There is so much stuff that we can do here and make videos about that just otherwise wouldn't be possible. Things like Wi-Fi, cameras, smart lighting, long-range Wi-Fi, door access, security gates with smart monitoring and detection, AI detection, networking, energy monitoring, heating, AC, and so much more. The ultimate, basically, bucket list dream that I've always had since the very beginning of making these videos was to be able to take you through planning a smart home from the very beginning and building a new house with all of the automations in mind from the very beginning. This is basically as close as we can get to that dream, but it's kind of on a much bigger scale. We're going to need a lot of help from you guys, and I want to involve you guys as much as possible. Obviously, we're going to film like the smart home specific stuff here, but if you guys are interested, and I hope that you are, I do want to know what else you are interested in seeing outside of the smart home stuff. Is it maybe the planning? Is it construction, decorations? Is it cabling and wiring? Is it how much things cost? Like, what do you guys want to see outside of the smart home stuff? I really want to have all of you help shape the videos, since you are literally the reason that I am here today and I'm in the fortunate position to be able to do something like this. So I think it's only right that you let me know down in the comments what it is you want to see. And aside from just ideas, I'm also going to need tons of your help with just the general day-to-day running of the place. I've never done anything remotely like the scale that this building is, so any help you can give with anything is very much appreciated. Another big reason is it's a very historic building. It's one of the most prominent buildings in the town, and I drive past this place many times every day. I actually used to work just down the road from it too. And this is a building going all the way back to my childhood that I've always loved. I love the look of it, and I've always adored its kind of imposing presence that it has. Now, this building was bought around 4 or 5 years ago, and the previous owner had plans to add a block of flats or apartments into the grounds. And that would be an extreme shame to me, because once you do that, you're never going to get those back. And it's going to sound weird, but I do weirdly feel like I have a duty to protect the building's history and the site. And the grounds where those flats would be built are as much a part of the history as the building is. We also just need a little bit more space. We've quite quickly run out of space at our other office, which you might have very briefly seen, and I would really love to have more space for filming better videos and bigger projects, and to hopefully take on some more people so that we can grow even bigger. Actually, I just realized that I didn't ever show you the other office really. We definitely need to do a quick tour there soon. Finally, maybe the biggest reason of all is something that is very near to my family's heart, so apologies for this slight tangent. See, as you guys know, we make our own smart home products and we have our own shop. And I'm very fortunate to get to work with Sarah and my parents every single day on this, which is a dream. But what you guys don't know is my parents have been foster carers for a very long time, looking after loads and loads of less fortunate children over the last 15 years. And one of the places they work closely with is a local non-profit nursery who provide a really amazing place for children to play every single day, and it's a very important aspect of the community. But for the last 5 years, that nursery has been looking for a new place to move to, as they are effectively being evicted from their current premise with nowhere to go. They've been searching for the last 5 years for a new place, but have been unsuccessful, and basically they are facing the prospect of closing down forever, which would be a huge blow to the community. And so when we saw this place come up for sale, we thought it was kind of perfect for them, with more indoor space, a great outdoor area that they don't have now, and more potential for the future. And so we kind of took the leap of faith on this place, basically hoping to save them from closing down. And I'm super pleased to say that they are just over the moon to have somewhere like this, and they are going to be moving in next year into the entire ground floor area in 2026. Now, that isn't very long at all, and we have quite a bit of work to do, but I'm thinking, what if we set out to build the smartest nursery possible that we can, super tricked out with every aspect as smart as we can, and basically automate everything and turn it up to 11, all while taking you along for the ride. So obviously this place needs quite a bit of work, not huge amounts and nothing serious thankfully, but there is still a big amount of work to do. I don't know how fast we are going to get through it. Obviously the bank balance has taken a bit of a hit, so we just need to be sensible there for a little bit. But the potential for content here is so cool, and I'm really excited to start doing some new things. And on that, if you are a brand who makes cool products and you want to help us out and work with us, then please reach out. I basically need all of the help that I can get, because if it wasn't already obvious, I've never tackled anything like this before in my life, so the more help I can get, the better. You know we are going to need a lot of network and Wi-Fi infrastructure and door access everywhere, so Ubiquiti would love to work with you. We need servers and cameras and gates and heating and aircon and so much more that I want to take you guys along on the journey for, so you can see exactly how this entire building fits together. But one way or another, we will get there. All that's left to say is thank you so much. I know everyone says this and it is kind of a cliche at this point, but you guys watching have literally changed the trajectory of my life and my family's life. You really have. And it's because of you guys that we've been able to buy this historic building and save and preserve the history, because of you buying our EP1 and EPL and other stuff, buying stuff on the shop, because of you watching, liking, commenting, supporting on Patreon and everything else. Thank you so much. And it's because of you guys buying our products that we don't need to do sponsors in videos so much. And so if you do want to support us, then the shop is the best way to do it. And honestly, just thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Every time I see this place now, it's truly, truly surreal to think that I own it, and it doesn't feel real. I'm not sure it ever will. It just feels unimaginable to me that I am able to do this. You guys are incredible. You have really changed my life, and I am forever grateful to all of you out there. So thank you. And that's about it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please drop this video a like, get subscribed, and I will see you in the next video.